What in the anime hell is this? The podcast is launching an Amazon affiliates page. This better not be some scam.
This is the Pope.
Yo, Pope. This is Anime Satan. What's this I hear about an Amazon affiliates page?
Oh, hey, Mr. S. Well, when people buy things off Amazon, if they use these links, the podcast receives earnings. It might help us fund our podcast merchandise store, buy Caroline jelly beans, or even...
Conquer the world?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, can I buy Moe Girl anime figures for my secret collection?
We do have links to anime figures.
Oh, goody. How about Pocky? Satan loves Pocky.
We have links to Pocky and Japanese canned coffee, too.
Okay. How about...
Why don't you just go visit the website, www.supporttheaddicts.com, and see what all we have?
Sure, why not? I'll head over to www.supporttheaddicts.com just for you, Pope. Say, when are you coming down for a visit? Let's do tea.
Soon, Anime Satan. Very soon. Remember, before you go to Amazon to shop, don't forget to stop at www.supporttheaddicts.com.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
That's right, I'm hosting it. I was too busy dancing because Mitsugi and I are wearing matching clothes because we're really cool like that. Welcome everyone to episode 647 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, the only anime podcast to make your addiction to Amazon affiliate links so much worse. Now, it is me, Mason, talking in the mic needlessly, and with me today, my similarly clothed brethren, Mitsugi.
I'm having a great...
close friend of Satan, as we know.
Yes, of course. I'm having a great week. I'm enjoying a green Monster Energy. There will be... we'll have links to that as well on the affiliates page. We'll talk about that more in a second, but I don't want to hog up too much of the spotlight. We have more important people to introduce.
Well, much more important, even than myself. We're just laying the groundwork, the foundation for the true reason you're here today, which is to listen to Caroline.
Yes.
I don't have anything more clever
definitely.
to say. You got this.
Unfortunately, I am not matching. I don't have a matching jacket. I guess
you did, but you spilled your pretzels all over it. And
oh, yes. Well, my pretzels have been consumed. There is no crunchiness on the microphone. That was an issue earlier. But I have snacked, and we can get to anime talking.
Time to conquer. Thank you all who are joining us live on Twitch, where we stream every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all who follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, and most importantly on the Discord, where the betting community is growing by the day, some of which even have stakes in this very podcast episode.
Of course.
Money, food, livelihoods are on the table, and we have so much to get to. We are going to do a fun topic called Anime Addicts Synonymous. We're going to do a Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? And we have a big review of Made in Abyss Season 2. But first, I think Mitsugi wants to highlight some Amazon struggles that he's been going through for you guys.
You have to be very delicate when you talk about Amazon affiliates because there's a lot of very stupid rules about it. So I am allowed to tell you that the podcast will earn money from the use of these links. And the links will be at www.supporttheaddicts.com, but that page doesn't have anything on it just yet as of Sunday the 9th. So my goal is to have it up by Thursday this coming week, which is when the podcast will most likely come out, which is the 13th. So there will be a page. It's really just like if you go to Amazon to buy stuff every month, every week, like I do, if you're going to go buy toilet paper, or paper towels or, whatever, go to supporttheaddicts.com first, click the household products button, then click the toilet paper button, It'll take you straight to Amazon. You buy your toilet paper, podcast earns financial benefit from that. I'm phrasing it in that specific way. Not everybody has the money to help out in other ways, but if you're going to go to Amazon anyway to buy stuff, then you can use the buttons, which should be easy to navigate over at supporttheaddicts.com, and there'll be info on that on the Discord. And that's about it. More information later, but I got a bunch of really helpful people helping me with it, helping me get the website up. So appreciate all of them, of course. And this is just another way for us to try to, make things happen that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do. So be patient, and by the time this episode comes out, you will be able to, help the podcast. You will be able to help the podcast earn financial benefit by buying things you would buy anyway. You just have to click through that URL first. So simple as that.
I can just feel the word labyrinth
legal
you had
tape
to go through there.
Yeah, and by the way, there have been people on the Discord that have said to me like, "Oh, I buy $500+ of stuff every month for the company I work for off of Amazon. It's the same stuff every month." So they literally were like, here's the 25 things that I buy off Amazon for my company. I'm actually putting a section on that site for user-defined lists. So if you're going to buy this, this, and this every month, let me know on the Discord, I'll add you to that, and then you can go there and look for your own name and just click the things you're going to buy. Boom, 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 easy for you. We will earn financially from these links. Whether you... I merely want you to check out the site. I can't tell you to do much more than that, but I do love you guys.
I can't wait to check out this site. I've been wanting to support the Anime Addicts for a while now. I don't listen to them as much as I used to, but I'm about to pre-order the new God of War video game. Like, I'm going to do that through Amazon and do it through the link. Like, that would be pretty darn cool, I think. But short of just telling people you listen to this podcast and just spreading it to your friends and word of mouth, this is another good option. So we really do appreciate it.
Let me just say the categories real quick, and then we'll move on. I've got anime apparel, anime merchandise, Japanese snacks and energy drinks, which will include Japanese canned coffees, household goods, gift cards, pet supplies, high-end electronics, which would be like iPhones, earbuds, etc., PC hardware and equipment, video games and card games, gym and health-related art supplies, and then, of course, the user-defined lists. So if you buy things from any of those categories, you want to buy God of War, boom, boom, supporttheaddicts.com. Stick it to Amazon. Take $2 of that money right out of their fucking pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You could buy
stick it to them, man.
These little matching shirt hoodies that Mitch and I have. You can join the club.
These hoodies, I am enjoying. I wore this hoodie all weekend, pancakes out of town. I'm living like a man child, I'm in my pajama pants and my hoodie all weekend. Anyway, moving on. I've said enough.
We're done shilling over. Shillcast is complete. We actually do talk about anime on this podcast occasionally. So what's been going on in the world of that? Let's find out.
It's time for big news of the week.
The answer is not much.
Yeah, not a whole lot. This was not an overly involved week for anime news. I mean, there are a few anime announcements that came out, which is always, pretty much. There's always a couple that get announced, but there just wasn't really anything overly interesting, honestly. So I'm going to pass my turn.
And I'm going to pass that too. Mason, what do you got?
Hey, I got to have something, right? Well, it's not much, but it is a little something. Episode 2 of The Anime Studio has aired. This is a recurring documentary on NHK World's website where they go to an anime studio and just give you some behind the scenes. And episode 2 released this week. The first one was about Production IG, and the second one is about the very hot topic of Studio Trigger, who just came off doing Cyberpunk. We just did our review of it, and it's a pretty neat little 30-minute documentary. It starts off incredibly cheesy. It feels like an infomercial you'd watch in like middle school. It's like 90s terror VHS level, like effects and narration. It's like, let's go check out the explosion of animation that this guy worked on. And it's really, for the first couple minutes, I'm like, this is painful to watch. And it's coupled with like this really boring, choppy, it just was so bad. It was like the complete opposite of what it felt like to watch a Trigger show. But eventually, after like 8 or 9 minutes, it did become genuinely more interesting as staff of Trigger and not just some white dude really got to discuss the mindset, kind of their technical process behind just everything. And it really makes you appreciate everything you see in an anime is intended in some way. It was never just, well, we did it because, I don't know, we put it there. Like every strand of hair, the way it moves, every explosion and the way it comes out, like all has to be considered and thought about and lit. And it just is fascinating to me. So it is very much worth checking out. It's free. It's on NHK World's website. It's kind of subbed and dubbed, depending on who's talking. And even though it takes a while to get going, you can just jump ahead. It is interesting if you are invested in, a little behind the scenes of what it takes to make anime. So check it out. I thought it was pretty neat by the end. So that's all I have for big news of the week. Not much, to be honest, but it's something.
I feel kind of bad, like skipping right through the big news. Like I'm trying to find something like, oh, I'm looking,
We were spoiled. We were spoiled the last couple of weeks with just gobs and gobs of stuff.
I mean, Persona 5's getting an official card game. I don't know if that, maybe not interesting enough.
Cool.
I don't know. Cool, maybe.
Nice.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. Well,
sometimes it be that way. We do big news because it's exciting stuff, and if it's no good news, it's no good news. We're not going to waste your time with it.
Just more time for Made in Abyss later. So.
And more time for our super fun topic.
Yeah, explain this to me.
So this is something that actually popped up on our Discord, and it's been brewing for a couple months. And reminder that we have places on the Discord and the website where you can submit topic ideas for both this podcast and our hentai stuff. So if you have ideas, we are always keeping an ear out. But essentially, people were talking about what are the token anime that people associate with us, the host, or the podcast as a whole. In short, the synonymous shows with the Anime Addicts. So this is the Anime Addicts Synonymous, which is just a funny enough name to make this
clever.
work. So essentially what I did is I made a list of 7 or 8 genres, and we each put in a show that we thought defined the other host. And this is not the show that we would say we consider to be the best show, just the one that we associate with one another. And we will see how good our guesses are for one another, if we have any similarities, and people who are listening can chime in and be like, what? You thought this show was you? I totally think of this show every time I think of you or whatever. So it'll be fun trying to see how well we know one another.
Yeah, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard for us to think of specific genres for each other, because I can think of, oh yeah, that's an obvious one. But I feel like the listeners, as they listen to every single episode, they go like, oh, they're talking about this show again. They know the answers. I feel like we should be graded by them, really.
I mean, really, this is just a guess. You know us best.
You know what's funny is that there's actually a handful of shows that I intentionally do not discuss, because I've talked about them so many times that it's just nauseating, I'm sure, for our listeners. But when people message me on the Discord, which happens once in a while, maybe a couple times a month, they're like, oh, I want to recommend something, blah, blah. I still go to those shows. And then they watch them, and they always come back, and of course, mostly they think they're good. But
yeah. But there's also shows where I won't even talk about them too much, and then someone will be like, oh, I watched the show. That definitely feels like a Mason show or a Caroline show.
Mm-hmm.
So you will assess how well we know ourselves and chime in and just give us a hard time, really. So I think the first genre, and these are obviously very vague in a sense, a lot of shows fit into multiple things, but the first one and probably the biggest one is action. So I think we should just start with Mitsugi, and we'll not start with the person who we're guessing. So what we're going to do is Caroline is going to say what show that is action she associates with Mitsugi, or when she thinks of Mitsugi, she's like, this is a Mitsugi action show.
I see.
All right, well, shall we do that then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. When I think of Mitsugi and action, I'm thinking Dragon Ball Z, of course. I feel like there was no other answer for this one.
Really?
Yeah, especially with the recent discussion about One Piece versus Dragon Ball.
By the way, I really want to have that debate on the podcast. There was so much
Yeah.
just passion in that discussion yesterday. Like I always say
good.
to myself, "Ooh, am I saying too much? Am I an asshole?" I always feel like I am, but
I feel like we need to have the One Piece fan on, because you are the Dragon Ball fan, and you guys just punch it out.
anyway, I don't want to get into that because that's a whole episode. But
That's-
I just feel like
that's a special.
but I feel like
I'll hold my tongue on this one.
whenever there's that much passion about a topic, though, it just begs to have a full podcast topic on it. So, okay, does she guess yours now, Mason?
No, we're just gonna, I think, stick with you for the time being, and then you'll say
all
if
right.
you think we're right or not.
All right.
So
go
I
on.
was between two shows for you, Mitsugi.
Okay.
My backup was Rurouni Kenshin, but I think I also am gonna have to go with Dragon Ball.
Dragon
it is-
Ball.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
I didn't.
Dragon Ball as
Okay,
the
okay.
entity. It could be Dragon Ball
I was
Z,
also
it could be
thinking
OG.
entity. I just went with Z.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think that's you. I think that is quintessential what you recommend and just really what you were brought up on and defines what your interests are.
All right. So do I now reveal my answer?
Do you
Yeah.
think we got it right?
Yeah, I do think so.
Well, nice.
Do I
We
reveal
did
my
it.
answer?
Yeah, reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, the answer is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you
There
put
you
it in
go.
small font. I thought for whatever reason I got it wrong.
So,
Because it
but
was
I
lining
didn't.
up.
That wasn't my answer initially for this one.
What was your
Okay, what
answer?
were you thinking?
I don't even remember. I'll try to remember, but it wasn't Dragon Ball to start with. I definitely switched it to this from something else, but I just can't recall what it was at the moment. But
So for most of these, I tried to put as very little thought into it because it should really be a like knee-jerk reaction. When someone says Mitsugi, what's that action show you think of? Like if you like peruse all your lists, like it's not the same. It's that gut instinct.
Wait a minute. Wasn't the okay, okay. When I read this, I feel like I've gone crazy because I thought that this whole box was just your favorite in general, and I screwed it up.
It's okay.
It just
It's
so
okay.
happens that Mitsugi's favorite anime that I was thinking of just so happens to be in action. So I just screwed up mine. You're gonna give me like 1 minute to fix this, right?
I'm gonna give you 1 minute
Yeah.
to fix it. Well,
yeah, so
Okay.
I'm gonna predict
As long-
Caroline real quick, and
What?
Sure.
and then Mason
Sure.
can predict Caroline, and that'll give her time to fix things.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
mean,
have
you can
no idea
fix-
what to think of for Mason. Oh
you
God,
can
I hate
fix
pressure.
the thing later.
All
Don't,
right, so-
don't worry.
Okay.
We'll just go live. We'll just do it live.
So here's my prediction for Caroline. Very difficult.
Caroline's favorite
I-
action show is what?
Caroline hasn't been on the podcast as long as some other people have, so she's not as predictable as other people. She's kind of hard mode, I'll say. So I don't really know. And I actually don't think action is Caroline's 100% wheelhouse, but I'm going to say Dr. Stone for Caroline because I know she likes Dr. Stone and has mentioned it. Oh,
I wouldn't
guess
even think
not.
of Dr. Stone as an action, really. That's not how I would think of Dr. Stone.
Well, I guess I'm not right.
Sorry.
Mason, what do you think?
My box, and it's very similar to her length, so it might be right, but I think
No, because
it
mine is completely wrong. Mine is the one I put in this box is not an action show.
Oh, well, no. I put Attack on Titan.
Oh, good guess.
I figured that's much more your speed.
I think had I read the box correctly, that's what I would have put down. Instead, for my favorite action show, my favorite action show is Sangatsu no Lion.
Well, okay, you put it in wrong, but you know what it would have been, and it would have been Attack on Titan.
Yes, that's
Okay,
probably what
okay.
I would have written.
Oh, well,
But I
no one cares
also-
about what you write. No one sees the show notes,
But-
which you can get by being a subscriber.
Sangatsu
In
no
fact,
Lion.
I put Attack on Titan in a different category here for myself.
Okay.
So had I read it correctly, I probably would have put that in there and probably would have changed the
We'll change
box
your
I
other
put in.
one and put Attack on Titan in here so I can be right.
Okay. Too much pressure, man. I can't. I spent a long time on this,
Oh no.
so
okay.
it's too much
fine.
pressure.
Chat, do you guys think of Attack on Titan? A lot of people are mentioning Keijo.
It's not an
So
action show.
it's got some
Yeah.
action.
I
It's got
guess.
action.
Yeah, it's got action. Yeah, booty jiggles.
Hey, we take it.
Definitely. So, all right. So, for Mason, I picked. You were difficult too, Mason. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, action from you. I feel like you don't talk about action shows very much.
I'm not a big action guy.
And I just don't think this is your category. So this is a little hard. So I also, for you, Mason, I picked Gurren Lagann because you like Trigger.
I do.
And although I've never heard you mention Gurren Lagann,
Bring
I
it up
think
here
that
and
you
there.
like it.
I
That's
do.
my
I do
guess.
like. I actually dropped Gurren Lagann the first time I watched it.
Yeah,
I actually was like not vibing with it.
when
and I eventually
Kamiya
went
died?
back.
Although I feel like, again, this
well,
isn't
leave
our
the spoilers
favorite shows.
aside.
Spoiler. Spoiler for a
These
show
are like
that
the
came
shows
out
that
20
we
years
bring
ago.
up the most as examples of what we
Exactly.
talk about in this genre. So it's not
I would
even like
say-
our favorite.
Yeah, I would say Gurren Lagann is definitely, you're not wrong, Mitz, one of my favorite shows, and it definitely is one of my favorite action shows. But like you said, I don't really bring it up a ton. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty darn cool, but I don't know if it would. I don't bring up a ton of action, so you're right either way. But
It's just it
that's
was
not
tough.
what I put down. Yeah, but it's a good. I appreciate it.
All right.
Mason's most talked about action is the Tatami Galaxy. Yeah.
What
So
is happening?
it only happened for this one. I swear I read everything else. I don't know why I thought this one was just general favorite. Anywho, so if I were to change my answer, I might go for Mob Psycho, maybe. Or no, you don't even really like
it's not a
Mob Psycho
terrible
all that
guess.
much.
I love Mob Psycho season 1.
Okay,
I
okay,
do
yeah,
think
season
season 2
one.
was a bit of a drop, and I think that's one of my anime hills to die on. But we'll save that for another episode.
All right, I think I'll change this to Mob Psycho then.
Okay, well that's a very fair pick because I do like Mob Psycho a lot. Actually, the chat seems to be killing it. The chat has got it.
Wow, really?
Cador, Emmy, Captain Avatar, yeah, a bunch of them. I'd say my favorite for like big brain action shows is not what I put down here. It's definitely Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I feel like I don't hear you talk about it all that much.
There's not really a great like chance to talk about it, and for the most part, like it's not really a show that I think needs to be talked about. Like everyone kind of knows it. I think it's really solid.
What was it before?
Damn.
Huh? Oh, I
What
think I
was
just like on the sheet.
Yeah, you changed it to
Oh,
Brotherhood.
because I miscopied from earlier.
Oh.
But yeah, FMAB, I think I have it as like a 9 out of 10. And I think it's just a really freaking good show on a bunch of different things. It's maybe not my favorite from an action standpoint, but it is a great action show and it's really good. And hey, if the chat got it, that's good enough for me to say that it is true. So,
I learned
But
that
out
I am
of all of
extremely
these-
predictable.
I mean, you've been around here the longest, you know?
I am old.
Yeah.
People,
And you're also more of the action guy. Like if there's one guy in the show, you're the action man.
has anybody
Like,
has
you'll
anybody
find that I probably did not peg down your slice of life show, Mitsugi, because I could not think of anything other. I was like, I just know you hate it. I just couldn't think of anything that you specifically talk about.
has anybody made bets yet on betting degeneracy about on which episode this old man will keel over during?
No, I don't think
Not
that's been
yet.
made yet, but
All right.
it could be inspired.
Get on it, people. Next category is fantasy. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Who shall
start with
start?
Caroline. Let's start
Yeah.
with Caroline and just
Caroline,
like
yeah.
rotate.
Mhm.
Well, we'll guess what Caroline's favorite is. So do you want to go
All right.
first, Mitz, or should I?
yeah, I can go 1st.
Mhm.
So, for Caroline, I guessed again, Caroline's going to be tough in every category. I guessed jobless reincarnation.
Not a bad idea because
Not a
I
bad
have
guess.
talked about it quite a
I
bit.
guess that's not
But
right though.
I don't know. I feel like it hasn't been. That being said, never mind. My explanation doesn't make any sense with the pick I actually did choose. So, Mason, what's your thought?
Fantasy was one of the tougher ones for Caroline, I would say, because fantasy covers so many different options.
Yeah, it does.
I went with trying to keep it to what you reviewed on the show. In this instance, I went with Shadow's House. It kind of has that fantasy aesthetic, and I feel like of the three of us, you liked it the most. So in my
I
head,
did
I'm
like
like,
it the most.
she liked it, but I don't know. I don't really associate a fantasy show with you that easily comes to mind. But what should we have guessed?
Yeah.
Okay, well, initially it was Attack on Titan, but I did change it to, for reasons,
Yeah.
to Ranking of Kings.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
No, I almost had that for one of your other genres.
Probably for drama.
I had it for drama. It was my backup for drama. But no, that's fair. That's fair.
Unless I... No. Okay, I'm good on that one. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm good with
All
that.
right. Well,
That's a good pick.
for Mason, I just want to get one right today. That's my goal. I want one. For Mason, I selected Mushishi.
Ooh, that is a good show.
I think Mason has mentioned Mushishi several times. It is really good.
It is one of my few 10 out of 10s.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess that's a solid guess as any then. So I guess Mushishi.
It
What
is.
about you, Caroline?
All right, for Mason, I put down Sunny Boy.
Well, yeah,
It is
Mason did like it.
fantastical. I did really like Sunny Boy. Yeah, so I would say Mushishi is one of my favorite shows, but when I think of fantasy, I think of more classical fantasy. So my pick was Berserk.
Oh.
Really?
I feel like I bring that up more than Mushishi. I feel like when people think of me, they think of Berserk more than they think of Mushishi. But they should think of me for Mushishi. So if I had to pick, I'd give it to Mitsugi, but
I give it to me.
Oh, get out of here.
No, you talk about Sunny Boy all the time.
A bit. I mean, it's more recent. You know, there's more of a reason to talk about. Oh, chat is saying Mononoke. That's another really good one.
All right, what
Like,
did I
no,
pick?
We had a
actually,
whole
all
podcast
of you
about
are wrong.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's go to Mitsugi.
How about this
Yeah.
old man?
All right, for Mitsugi, I put down 12 Kingdoms.
As did I. No
You both
spoilers.
put it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what I picked. The answer is 12 Kingdoms.
Oh my goodness.
How do you guys know that?
Because you talk about it all the time.
Look, 12 Kingdoms
true.
is a good fucking anime. I'm assuming Mason has seen it. Have you seen it? Have you seen it, Caroline?
I have seen it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did we watch it for Anime Club?
We did watch the Frame Mate Club, but I did watch it before that as well.
As had I. Nice.
Wow.
Man.
You guys are crushing it.
Big target on Mitsugi's
doing
back.
so
You're just
good.
you're
Yeah.
just consistent in your branding.
This next one is...
That is true.
I noticed that on the next category, the length of the black boxes that obscure the text for Mitsugi all seem strangely the exact same length.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what that
But you never
means.
know. For example, you had 12 kingdoms, but you wrote out 12 numerically, where we wrote out
That's true.
So like it was a
That's
different.
true.
It doesn't matter. Moving on. Let's do sports with me because that's probably one you'll definitely get.
I have a pretty good idea.
I think this is like
I
The
can't
easiest
remember what I
part
put
of the
down for
day.
you.
All right. Caroline goes first, does she not?
I think she will.
Okay. I put down Ping Pong the animation. I remember now.
That's your prediction for Mason?
Yes.
Okay. So do I need to give mine now?
Yes.
I think you should.
My prediction for Mason is Ping Pong the animation.
Well,
Yay.
how about that? It's obviously ping pong. There's no other sports show it could be. I love Sangatsu. I love Hajime. I love so many sports shows.
Chihaya Furu.
Chihaya Furu.
Get
The first season
outta
of
here.
Haikyuu. I love them all. I love them all. It's got to be ping pong though. It's a
Yeah.
goat. It's one of my favorites, and I don't think there's any question. Chat obviously got that off
Pecco.
the bat. Oh my goodness, my
Pecco
boy.
and
My
what's
boy.
the guy's name?
Smile.
Smile?
Yeah.
Stupid name.
I love them so much.
Mitsuki's
moving
a
on.
stupid name.
Mitsugi is
I'm-
actually dangerously close to Mizugi, which in Japanese means underwear.
thought it was
Dangerously
swimsuit.
close.
I thought
Did
it
you
was
choose it
swimsuit.
knowing that?
I did not. But I was told that by our Japanese speaking Korean friend, Erica Central Parker, who hasn't been mentioned on this podcast in like 5 years. But yeah.
Yeah, it's swimsuit. It's swimsuit. I'm sports. I'll go first. Hajime no Ippo.
Oh,
With the backup being Guruzeni if you wanted to be saucy. But I'm going
that's your
Hajime
prediction
no
for
Ippo.
me?
Yeah.
Wow,
My
you both
prediction
picked-
is also Hajime no Ippo.
Why? Why would you both
Because
put
we
that?
talk about it all the time. That
Wow.
is it.
Okay, and the answer is
Guruzeni no Ippo.
Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, wow.
How do you guys know me? What is going on? Are you cheating?
You have favorites, and you will mention your favorites all the time.
Are you peeking?
Hajime
We're
no
not.
Ippo would be like, I think the last time you talked about it was last week.
I'm actually watching Hajime no Ippo now with Pancake.
Thing.
And
No,
How did
new-
you know it was this as
When-
it's playing in the background?
we
When
ran.
there is a new jelly bean stash, there will be a jelly bean eaten every single time Mitsugi mentions Hajime no Ippo.
Interesting. We ran out of initial D, and so we watched Ippo, and I forgot there was that shower scene in Ippo where Takamura's like, "Why the fuck are you wearing a towel in the shower?" And they pull his towel off, and like they obscure his penis, but they make the elephant like noise because I guess he's got like a fucking log. It's so funny.
He's
Wow.
packing.
Stupid like locker room humor. For Caroline, I guessed Haikyuu.
I
guess.
did not have a great guess for Caroline. It should be ping pong, but that's my thing. So I guess
Salaryman's Club.
I guess
I do
Salaryman's
talk about
Club.
it because I liked it. But yeah,
is good.
That
that's
can't
a
be
good
it.
guess. I was thinking, I messed things up. I was not seriously considering it, but I didn't put that down.
Yeah.
Keijo!
Oh, stop
Hey, Joe.
it.
I love it. I love
Stop
it. You haven't
it.
even watched it, and it's your show.
No, I watched 4 episodes.
Okay.
Was that all the tits and ass you could handle? Because that's pretty much
I
it.
will probably continue it because, as I've mentioned
you
in the
will.
past, this probably is the most serious female sports anime there
Well,
is.
I'm editing
could
your
be true.
answer, Caroline. You're only allowed to have 4 exclamation marks. Then you're not.
I
allowed
don't
to
know
have
how many
all-
explanations. I put down
You're
like
not
6,
allowed
I
all
think.
8.
I think that's how
You're
it
not
is.
allowed all 8. You only get 4 because you've only
Ouch.
seen 4 episodes.
No, listen, I've
Oh,
not
wow.
seen Haikyuu. I can make references to it, but I have never really talked in depth about it.
Yeah,
Caroline
I just
just
picked
can't get enough.
Salaryman's Club because that's the only sports show that you were like, I want to watch this sports show. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
This is my sports show. So I knew that wasn't your favorite, but I didn't have anything else.
They're
Yeah, I mean, it's just for the memes, really, for Keijo.
they're pretty and the booty.
But it is true.
All
Love
right.
it.
Next
it. Oh,
category.
my goodness.
This is
Hey.
you guys haven't missed one yet, but I think you're in trouble this time because my answer is like 5 characters and Caroline has like a fucking paragraph for me. So
Yeah.
I think you guys are gonna miss it.
Well, who wants to guess first? Caroline
Caroline.
for Mitsugi.
Okay, for Mitsugi, drama, I thought
It's a tough one.
great teacher Onizuka.
Interesting.
So he could have put GTO.
I could have.
Possible.
Now,
See, I think I put GTO more in the comedy genre, which we'll get to later. So that's probably why I didn't put it here.
what did you put?
I put Now and Then, Here and There.
Oh God, it's very dark.
Because that is
Yeah.
an extremely dark show.
Very dark.
But it is, I would say it's a drama. And my backup was Crest of the Stars, which also could have been in
sci-fi.
fantasy and
And
sci-fi,
sci-fi,
but it is also, a drama at its heart. So I'm going with Now and Then, Here and There.
Do you like Now and Then Here and There, Mason?
Personally, I'm not a big fan of it.
Would I be
It's-
destroyed if I watched it?
It's a very heavy show. It's very
Yeah,
intense.
It's I'm gonna put it like this. Like, I think I showed that at anime and in my anime club in college, like 100 years ago, and most of the audience didn't come back for the second episode, for the second session of Here and There. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's very depressing. Well, now then, but what is the answer? Oh, suspense. Only one can be right, or maybe none. And the answer is GTO written in acronyms.
Woo!
I knew it.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Yeah, GTO is Onizuka is an
Oh, Emery in
Almost
the chat
unmatched, I
mentioned Noshka, which is actually, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
that would be a
Nausicaa is a
better
great movie, but it doesn't have Onizuka in it, so unfortunately, it does not. It cannot win. For
Well, this isn't the Onizuka category; it's the drama
be.
category.
It should be. For
No, we should add if we finish this segment early. I'm gonna add a Ghibli column just for this,
Oh,
and we'll guess who's each of us's Ghibli's movie is. But we'll see if we have time.
all right.
Caroline's.
For Caroline, I guessed My Next Life is a Villainess. She's looking at
Okay.
She gives it away immediately with her face.
Because-
It's so funny. I know that's not correct. Fuck.
Yeah, so
I'm never gonna get one of
Nothing
these
of the
right.
show is a drama.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I had that show for like a backup for like comedy
It's
or
listed
romance.
as drama on
Or-
my anime list, so blame them.
I mean,
Okay.
it is a drama.
Motherfuckers. All right. Well, that's fine. That's not right. I have another solid guess, but we'll see if that one's right. I'm not going to say it, though. What did you put, Mason?
My guess for Caroline was Rakugo Shinju.
Oh, I could be right because
I-
she wrote a lot of text.
She did.
And
She did.
he would be correct.
Oh,
It
get
was
the
Showa
fuck
Genroku Rakugo
This is such-
Shinju. You talk about that quite a bit, Mitsugi.
So good.
It can't be that much of a surprise.
I'm always going to act surprised. Just so you know. Okay. Well, I tried. Yeah.
Valiant effort. Valiant effort.
For Mason, Mason was tough here. I think I got it though. For Mason, I put Tatami Galaxy. Is what I think I got it.
Of course you got it.
Oh my god.
Well, I might have
Ooh.
considered it if I hadn't put that down for his favorite action.
Oh,
What? Yeah, favorite action show,
Remember-
right? Yeah, exactly.
she messed up at the beginning.
But otherwise, I also thought of Odd Taxi as his favorite drama.
Oh, Odd Taxi. I like.
Yeah, I
Crazy
almost
Taxi.
actually put Odd Taxi for you, Caroline. I almost had that.
I feel
and
like,
was
I feel like we both talk about that quite a bit. But actually,
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't Rakugo Shinju, I might have put down Sangatsu no Lion, which was kind of like
That's
a
fair.
toss-up.
That's fair.
Like they're very even in my mind, so sometimes they swap.
Well, I'll give you the points,
Oh,
Caroline,
yeah.
for pity because you were just
Yay.
confuzzled. But obviously,
No.
you're gonna put the two Yuasa shows back to back between Ping Pong and Tatami Galaxy, and of course I'm gonna pick them.
Yes.
Tatami
Yeah.
Galaxy is.
Yes. I get a point. I
I
scored.
talk way too much about that show. Like out of all the shows here, that's the only one where I feel people could be like, Mason,
That's
you need
your
to
show.
lay off. People get it. They got it. We can just leave it alone. But I won't. And I'm watching the sequel right now, Tatami Time Blues. Oh,
How could
my
it possibly
goodness.
live up
People,
to the hype?
It's so good. It actually does.
Oh,
It's
I
not
need
even
to watch
Yuasa.
it.
It's
but
so good. It's so
is
good.
it
I don't know
out
how they
legally?
captured it so well. No,
All
because
right.
it's on Disney Plus or
Oh,
whatever.
fuck
But
that.
Disney Channel.
Oh, fuck
the
that.
fact that it is as good as it is and like captures so much of it is truly a miracle. Like how many sequels just
A
don't
miracle,
live
he
up
said.
to it? It is. It's so exceptional.
Or is
so
it technically a sequel or is it like a spin-off?
it's a spin-off. Like it takes place within the confines of their college life.
Oh, it's a
So-
filler episode.
It is. Like you probably should watch Tatami. Like you don't have to watch it to watch Tatami Time Blues, but it really just goes a long way and there's a lot of winks and nods. So yeah, it's good. Watch it when you can, legally if you want. Next up, romance.
These next three
let's start
categories are
with
tough because they all
Caroline.
feel like the same, sort of.
Yeah, in a
Yeah,
sense.
they all start to kind of mix up a bit.
All right, Caroline,
So-
what you got?
Well,
Well,
I think
don't-
we're
are you-
guessing
don't you guys
for
guess for me?
Sure.
Oh,
So I had a bunch of ones that it could be for Caroline. I had villainous at one point. I had all sorts of things, but I think I'm gonna go with Horimiya. I feel like that's much more of her show. That's like if anyone's gonna vouch for that show on the podcast, it's gonna be her.
I think you're right because it's the same length and yeah. For me, I didn't really know. I don't know. I guessed. I took a solid guess. Your Lion April.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
I have talked about it, but not too much.
Well,
Chat is saying
So-
Fruits Basket.
could be.
I mean, yeah, but I think if you were to pin one down for romance for me,
Gakogurashi.
yeah,
Well,
definitely.
see, it's
No,
your
it's gotta be-
it's your romance with Gakogurashi. See, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
come on.
That is the romance.
Oh.
Actually, I like Gakogurashi more. That's what you're known for. That's the meme.
It is,
Man.
but there was no. I mean, I guess slice of life could have been a thought, but
Yeah, I should change my pick for that.
actually, maybe I
Gakogurashi.
should change my idea for that. I don't even remember what I put down. Oh no, I do now. Yeah, but it's got to be Horimiya. Gotta
All right.
be.
If you say so.
I like the chat's suggestion that all of your answers from here on out, Caroline, is just going to be
Keijo.
Keijo. It's
Yeah.
Keijo. Romance, slice of life, comedy, Keijo. Favorite Ghibli film? Gotta be
Keijo.
Keijo. Keijo of the Valley
My neighbor
of the Butts.
Keijo.
All right. For me, what'd you guys put?
For you,
Tough one. You're
As
not going
your
to get
most-
this one right, huh?
the most talked about romance anime from you,
Uh-huh.
it has to be Tonikaku Kawaii.
Ah.
Because you hate that show so much that you will shit
Fuck.
on it any chance you get.
It's because it's trash. It's dog shit.
Oh, but it's true. It's kind of true. So
It's fucking terrible.
I originally, Mitz for You, had His and Her Circumstance,
Mhm.
but you don't really talk about that show much. What
Yeah.
I think you talk about more for a different non-romantic scene, but you still bring it up a ton, is Chobits.
Is that for the scene when he sticks his finger up in her
Yes.
vagina?
Yes, you talk about
yes.
that scene,
How does anime
ton.
get
and that's
away
a
with this
romance
shit?
anime, so that's what I associate with you.
Honestly, Chobits is clearly a show meant for like 13-year-olds, right? How did they get away with this shit? They're like, you know what? We're not going to say it's her vagina. We're just going to kind of show him like look at it and then reach down and then not. How do they get away with this crap? That's what I want to know. Like that alone makes that fucking anime rated R for sure.
They get away with it with elbow grease and a can-do attitude. I don't know.
Yeah, and Astroglide. All right. Caroline, I have to keep track of all these jelly beans for her giant mountain of face slamming that you have to do. For me,
add Astroglide to the Amazon affiliates link.
I should. So for me, it's Karakano. It's His and Her Circumstances.
Hey, I was kind of right.
Oh, somebody else came up with Dress Up Darling, which
Man.
also kind of works.
Yeah, but you see, like over the course of this podcast, I have referenced Karakano probably 150 times.
That's
I
true.
In the
feel like
last couple
I'm not really
months-
familiar with Kare Kano though. I feel like so I've never seen Kare Kano. I've never seen Tonikaku Kawaii, but I remember Tonikaku Kawaii more than Kare Kano because of you, sir.
Well, Karakano is a classic. I mean, it's I don't know. It was an anime that was like flawless for the first half, and then the second half is dog shit. But
The first 17 episodes are just choice Ano, and then it's
Yeah.
like, let's do like 5 recap
five
episodes.
recaps. Yeah.
No like animation at the end, and
It's
not
the
even
endless-
like a fun Eva way, like an actual terrible like scraping the bottom of the barrel, reused cuts. It's pretty bad,
Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
but it's a good show. It's definitely worth watching.
All right. We were down to Mason, and for me, I picked. This was hard. Kaguya-sama: Love Is War is what I picked for Mason.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Believe it or not, I do believe it's a romance, even though
Technically, according to the websites.
it's a blue
I'm
ball
up to
dance.
date. It's a romance.
So for you also, I had a hard time with this one. I put Kokoro Connect.
Oh, whoa, whoa! That one coming out of
That's
nowhere.
actually a really good throwback.
Thank you.
Those are both good picks, and I do both talk about them only because we recently had the review where I brought it up a ton. Maybe I'm wrong here. Audience can correct me. I went with My Love Story or
What?
Monogatari,
You what?
but clearly that's
Oh.
not coming in. I'd also it's like action, I don't talk about it much. So I think you guys probably know me better than myself. So I'd probably give it to both Mitz and Caroline's pick
Aw.
of me
Yeah.
is probably better than my own. So you both get a point
I like
on
that.
I feel like
this
the chat needs
meaningless
to
scoreboard that we're
Give
not
us
keeping
other
track
ideas
of.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next one. The next one's slice of life. Probably my least favorite genre.
I think Mitsgui first,
Oh my god.
or Mason.
Let's do Mitsugi first because you
All
never know what you're going to
Let's
get with
go.
him, and it's going to be a
Come on,
downward spiral.
motherfuckers.
Slice
What
of
do you
life.
got?
I completely forgot
This one
what
was
I picked.
incredibly difficult. I really had no idea what to put for you.
Good.
I just took more like a space filler than anything else. I just put in Yuru Camp.
Yuru Camp.
I don't know.
Well, I haven't even
I don't
seen
know.
that.
Oh, great. Then it's a completely made up memory that you've ever talked about it.
I know they don't really.
So never
have-
mind.
Yeah.
Well, I had 2 shows. The one I didn't pick, speaking of space filler, was Space Brothers, because that's
Oh.
slice of life in a way.
Is it?
In a way.
Yeah, it's more of a drama probably, but,
But it's
phenomenal.
not as much of a slice of life as what I put down, which is Honey and Clover.
Wow.
Which
That's
is-
a throwback.
Yeah, it's kind of old school. It's kind of romance. It's one of the few like set in college anime, and it's not too slice of lifey and like the modern cute girls doing cute things that we often associate with the genre. So
yeah.
that was my guess. But what is it, Mitsugi?
All right.
Or
the
chat.
answer is. Wait for it. Honey and Clover.
No way!
No
How did
way!
you know? How did you know?
Because I went on your mail and I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
Honey
He's
and
never
Clover,
seen a slice
yeah.
of life in your life.
Honey and Clover is phenomenal. At least the last time I saw it, which was like 15 years ago. But yeah, it is good to my memory. So I just remember that show had like, what was it, like some insane amount of animators and directors, like something like 8 directors and like 4 times as many animators as a normal show. And that because the staff was so massive, they had so many fresh ideas and so much like manpower to make it look good. Anyway, for Caroline, I picked. Come on now, it's got to be School Live. Gakko Gurashi.
Gurashi, baby.
Gakko Gurashi.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
gotta
good shout. I didn't even think about that for slice of life.
Oh, come
initially,
on.
so-
Oh,
No, like you know,
I'm despondent.
if I
I'm crushed.
right now I feel like that's a better idea than what I have down. So
Yeah,
even
I'm
if
gonna steal
yeah.
Mitsugi's.
well,
gonna
what
go
did you
with-
have down?
I'm gonna go with School Live.
Okay,
Oh,
well I
you
literally
cheaters.
just said it will win. So yeah, you're cheating. What did
Oh
you put
my
initially?
gosh.
I had Hinamatsuri at one point,
I
but
mean,
then
it's-
that was more of a comedy. So I had books, or the bookseller, Skeleton Boy, Honda-san. I had that for a while, and then I don't know. I was like flipping around through things, so I didn't have a great answer.
But what was the answer you settled with?
I think I ended it with bookseller Honda-san, but
well,
I think
if we're talking
I was thinking about switching it.
if we're talking about technicalities here, it is Skullface bookseller Honda-san.
No.
No way.
It
But it's
is.
not what it
It
actually
is.
is.
It is.
What
That's
the
what I
fuck?
put down.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I had Spy Family on there at one point. Like, it was not good. Mine doesn't count.
Now, I believe that that Skullface bookseller Honda-san is a better show than School Live. Just saying that. But they're also very different shows.
That's how I had them.
I think I talk about School Live more, or School Live, or however they're supposed to pronounce it. Gakko Gurashi more than Skullface.
Yeah,
So,
that's definitely what it is.
That's going to be the official correct answer, or the corrected answer.
All right. My pick for Mason was Nana.
That's good. That's a good show.
I
That's a
have
good
no
show.
idea if that was a slice of life or not.
Probably a bad guess, but
For Mason, I put down Gallon Dino.
what
Oh,
the
that's
fuck?
such a good show. That's actually a really good pick.
Nobody's picked Poi Poi Molcar for anything yet for Mason.
No, but there's not an animal show.
How's
But
your
that's
How's your sequel to Poi Poi Molcar? Are you watching it?
is it out yet? Is it out yet?
I don't know. I know it's
I thought
coming.
it was soon. It's soon, but I don't think it's out yet. Gotta wait for impressions, my friend.
We have some pretty interesting stuff being filtered on Twitch. Some pretty interesting words. Spank me harder. Somebody got, and then of course someone approved it because why not?
Yeah,
I
why
mean,
not? You know?
I mean, Caroline clearly, literally picks Keijo, so she's like, With how many asses there are in that anime, they're just begging for spanking somewhere.
It's
So.
true. It's true.
Well, it's
More
more
asses than you
smacking
can-
than spanking.
The butts, they yearn for the minds of spankage.
All right, what's the actual answer, though?
The
Mason.
actual answer,
Come
there's
on.
a lot of ones I could
Come
have gone
on.
with, but I was going with the more moe side of the slice of
what
life
the fuck?
spectrum to balance things. So I went with...
Is it K-On?
It's K-On!
Ah, damn it.
It's so
I was
good.
even thinking of K-On!
This is-
But I didn't
It's-
really think you talked
such a
about it.
good
Oh, I
show.
guess you don't really talk about Gal and Dino all that much either, but it's your
No,
meme
but
show.
I did at the time, and it was my meme show. So, like you, Caroline, I think Ellen Dino is the better pick.
Yay!
So you get the points on that one. Banana is a good
All
show,
right.
Mitz. You're not wrong. No one's guessed the show besides Caroline guessing your camp for Mitz. That we are
It was
like,
just completely
whoa,
off,
whoa,
yeah.
I hate that show. I've never, what the heck? Like, this is not me at all. But no, I appreciate it.
I mean, Haikyuu is kind of left field, Mitsugi.
It's
What?
Jesse, I don't really remember talking about Haikyuu.
You love Haikyuu.
I've never seen it!
Why don't you just admit
you
it?
would if you watched it though. It would be your show.
All
right.
That is not untrue.
Last
It is a
category.
good show.
Who goes
Comedy.
first?
Let's guess Caroline's first because
Okay.
my guess was Hinamatsuri. That's
Oh.
that's the Caroline comedy.
All
I don't have
right.
anything clever to say. That's her go-to.
I don't even remember what I picked. Oh yeah, Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
You're not incorrect about Kaguya-sama, but Hinamatsuri is like my staple, I think. So I put down Hinamatsuri.
Kaguya-sama, Love is Blue Balls.
I mean, out of every show that is a Caroline
Oh.
show,
I am
I'm
so
trying to
losing.
think if I associate any show more with her than Hinamatsuri.
Man, I am getting my ass kicked.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, who's
No,
next?
who goes next?
Guess mine, so we can all end
All
with
right.
probably guessing what Mitsugi's is.
Okay. For Mason, I put down I was not sure about this one, to be honest. I put down a Kretsko.
Interesting.
I have talked about that show a bit though, so that's fair.
For
and
me-
it's not a bad show.
I put down Sakamoto is cool. I think that's
I
how
have talked about that show.
I think that's
It's close enough. We know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Sakamoto desu ga,
Yes.
but that's not going to be correct. So what is the answer?
No,
Mason?
it's not. It is Joshi Raku, which
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
it's probably
I was
tough.
considering it.
it's probably tough because I don't talk about it much on the podcast. But
You
it
don't
is
really talk a lot about comedies.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a tough one, but I would say, just some weird, very particular type of comedy that is like very rooted in knowing some deep lore and weird facts. Otherwise, it's very not funny. Is very much my style of humor. So, Joshiraku, I think, but chat will correct me. And for Mitsugi,
Yes.
what is it going to be? Is it going to be Great Teacher Onizuka? Is
Could
it
be.
going to be Golden Boy?
Could be.
Is it going to be Keijo? Like the
Might be.
answers could be so many.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
what do you guys
do y'all-
decide upon?
Caroline, do you want to say it on 3?
Yes.
1, 2,
2, 3.
3. Golden,
Golden
Boy.
Boy.
Oh yes, my queen.
Yep, that's it. Golden Boy, of course. Yep. Could it be anything else?
Chat knew it. Chat knew it.
Yeah. Could it be anything? Caroline, have you seen Golden Boy yet?
No, I don't think I want
come
to.
on. Have you seen it, Mason?
Of course, my man.
Okay, thank
Of
you.
course I've seen it.
Oh, it's so
So-
funny though, Caroline. You should watch it. Oh, it's something. But you must watch
No,
the
I've
dub.
seen enough of that gif of, what's it, Madam President spitting
Yeah.
into that kid's mouth. I've seen enough of that.
You
so I'm good.
must watch the dub.
Caroline,
He goes
we
so
all
hard.
know how similar your and Mitsugi's style of comedy is. How
Yeah.
how could you not watch it?
My style is like a fourth grader like farting on somebody. in
That is
class.
not my style of
That's
comedy.
my style of humor. My style of humor is like Terrence and Phillip laughing about the color of their farts. Pretty much. Wow.
Really quick,
I don't
just
think I'd like
as
it.
I talked about, each of us, really quick, what Ghibli movie do you associate with each of us?
Oh wow.
Okay, if we're depending on how strict we are with rules, for Mitsugi, it's got to be Nashika, and for Mason, it has to be Princess Mononoke.
I know Miss likes Noshka. I would put more Totoro for him. I feel like that's just more of his movie. And for Caroline, oh geez, he weren't around for the Ghibli time, so I don't remember. I'll go.
Oh no, I
Kiki.
was. I was there.
Kiki.
That's
I'm
why
going
I
Kiki.
ended up watching quite a few Ghibli. I was at the Ghibli countdown.
That's right.
I think I
I'm
missed it.
sorry.
I think I missed the first part of the episode though, of our two-parter.
Originally, I was going to guess Spirited Away, but I'm thinking Kiki. So, the final answer. Totoro and Kiki.
Interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, for Mason, I think it's Nausicaa.
Okay.
And for Caroline, since Caroline is a lady, I'm gonna have to say Howl's Moving Castle because that is that's like crack. That's crack for ladies. Oh my
I
God,
think it's
Hal,
weird.
I love you.
I mean,
Girls
to be
love
fair,
Hal.
Howl's Moving Castle has the hottest character in all of Ghibli.
That could be
Calcifer.
It's true.
Billy Crystal.
He's the hottest.
For me, it's probably Kiki's. Although before Kiki's, it was Princess Mononoke, I think.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'm a toss-up between Nausicaa or Mononoke, but I do tend to prefer Princess Mononoke. That's the one that gets the 10 out of 10 in my book, so. And Mitz?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Nausicaa for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, she's my waifu. Yeah.
She is. She's.
I proposed to her once. I got rejected.
See it.
Broke
There,
my heart.
There, on my video, you can
I
see
see
I
it.
got my
I see
Mononoke poster,
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
Nausicaa poster.
Yeah, of course.
There we go. Oh no,
have
my
to.
thing's messed up. Ah.
And if you go to
I got a little
supporttheaddicts.com,
Kiki postcard over there too. I can't reach it now, but I have it.
there will be anime posters on our Amazon affiliates. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's get that out of here.
Trivia time.
Woo, woo. Okay, it's my turn. What is the name of the wish-fulfilling artifact found in the second season of Made in Abyss? We will answer the question after the news break.
I see you guys didn't like my trivia question.
That would be
It was a
Mason.
little simple. It's a little simple.
Oh, well,
Bye.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Good luck, everybody. See you in a bit.
Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsugi is here, and I'm bringing you your anime news break. Starting off with some Japan news. As I said on the prior episode, Japan opened up its borders to foreign travel on October 11th. However, so too, Japan is also encouraging more travel domestically of Japanese residents. So there is a national travel subsidy program being launched aimed at turbocharging the domestic tourism industry in the post-pandemic recovery as Japan tries to get back on its feet. The National Travel Discount Program is available only to residents within Japan, not for overseas tourists, and it uses government subsidies to fund discounts on meals, shopping, and accommodations worth up to $77 per day per traveler, which is quite a lot. So they, quote, hope that by making use of the full National Travel Discount Program, people will be able to enjoy long-distance trips using public transportation, including on weekdays, said the tourism minister Tetsuo Saito in a press conference on the 26th of September. Japan is trying to kickstart their tourism industry, which has been paralyzed by having their borders shut for nearly 2.5 years because of the coronavirus pandemic. Next up, the manga Shy is getting a TV anime. The publisher Akita Shoten announced on Thursday that the Bukimi Miki's Shy manga is going to be getting a TV anime for you to enjoy. So Miki began writing this action superhero story as a one-shot, which won some awards in Japan, and then was published in the Weekly Shonen Champion magazine. There are 16 total volumes in print, with the last one coming out on the 6th of October. If you're a fan of the superhero stories, look out for another one with some cute girl-looking characters, Shy, the manga, being made into a TV anime. Next up, and some strange, just, off-the-cuff news, Magic the Gathering cards announce partnerships with Final Fantasy and Transformers. They are going to be launching as part of the, quote, Brothers War expansion box set that they will have Transformers cards. I see in the photo, I see Optimus Prime and a number of others that each card is double-sided to display each character's robot in alternate modes. So that'll be pretty neat if you are a fan of Transformers. And also, it was indeed announced, Wizards of the Coast said that they are also in partnerships with Final Fantasy and Assassin's Creed. Those cards are expected to come out in 2024. So you have quite a ways to wait, but it will be cool to see Final Fantasy characters on Magic the Gathering cards. And last up in the news, a bomb squad in Japan is summoned to take care of an abandoned briefcase that's discovered to be filled with adult sex toys, which is pretty hilarious. In Shizuoka Prefecture, a town of Kakegawa, a resident called the police because they spotted a silver attaché case that was partially hidden on a roadside in the Shimomato neighborhood. Police came, and weirdly enough, they discovered that indeed it was an obscured item on the side of the road, but it was filled with sex toys, which is a pretty funny story and somewhat of an embarrassment for all parties involved. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast. Anime Addicts, we know that many of you have wanted to help out the podcast in the past, but times are tough. We get it. And of course, we still love you, and that's why we have big news for all you anime addicts out there. The podcast is launching its official Amazon affiliates page, so you can head over to www.supporttheaddicts.com to view our Amazon affiliates page. We've got you covered with all your essentials, your favorite anime merchandise, video games and card games, Japanese snacks and coffee, and regular daily items like energy drinks, PC hardware, electronics, household products, gift cards, pet supplies, and more. We've got it all, people. And of course, the podcast does receive earnings from the use of these links. So anime addicts, make a bookmark on your smartphone or PC so you'll remember, before you go to Amazon to shop, don't forget to stop over at supporttheaddicts.com. Again, that's www.supporttheaddicts.com. Welcome back to the podcast. What is the name of the wish-fulfilling artifact found in the second season of Made in Abyss? Mason, with his dance moves. The Cradle of Desire, baby!
Dance moves. Do you want to ask what the trivia question you had up there was?
Nah, no one cares.
I'm sorry
cares.
I changed it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Your question was better
Speaking
anyway.
of trivia questions, we have a guest who's known for his quizzing around here, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so is our we are going to play it as Mitsugi's mom know, and there's been much. Well, you know what? Let's just bring him in, and then we'll get it rolling. So,
We ready?
let's do it.
Ready.
It's time for Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show that pits Mitsugi's unassuming mother against anime's most basic questions. Now here are your hosts, the Anime Addicts. Whoa! It's time for Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show where my poor mother tries her best to answer anime's most basic questions. And on the phone, who do we have and where are you calling from?
Hello. It's the
Oh no,
Oh.
we lost audio.
You may want to introduce yourself one more time because we lost your audio.
Lost.
I guess
We'll come
The
together.
universe said
He's
no.
completely gone.
I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna put him back in, and we're gonna try it all over again.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yay.
Who do we have
Alright.
on the phone, and where are you calling from?
This is the Raggedy Doctor calling from Miami.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome.
Ooh.
And with much fanfare, I noticed that you are running statistical analyses using R programming on the Discord, trying to game the system. And I imagine that means you feel very confident today. Would you say that's correct?
No, all my data collecting has proven that I am royally fucked.
Oh, wow.
Now you're doing a lot of this work. Is there something at stake beyond the internal internet glory and fame that awaits a potential victory?
Of course, just delving deeper into the pits of degeneracy on Discord with the Betting Degenerates channel.
So what is at stake here?
So if I win, Kador, soon to be Kador F, is going to be sending Caroline $20 worth of jelly beans, and if I lose, then I'll be sending Mason $20 worth of mac and cheese.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Stakes have never been higher. So-
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine that you put in this much work, all of your studying, so that it will just be a no-brainer. I will get $20 worth of
That's a
jelly
lot.
beans
It's a lot.
Yeah.
to consume. that might be even more than the jelly beans
Probably.
I had before.
It could be, yeah. All right. Well,
But can I just add a stipulation? If I do have to get jelly beans, can they please just be like really good ones?
they should all be
like,
licorice. Black licorice.
Oh no, we are not. We are not doing all
Oh,
licorice
man.
jelly beans.
You'll have
All
to
right.
take the flavor up with Kador.
Yeah, probably. Well, suppose that is an issue for after the game is done.
All right, well, Raggedy Doctor, I know you know how to play this game, but for people at home, I have asked my mother 5 questions, and they were all very easy questions, but maybe not to her. And your job is to try to guess whether or not she knows the answers to these questions. Are you ready to get the game started?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Good luck, lucky player. With me, it's you never know.
All right, here we go. Here's your first question. Mobile suits, which are giant robots piloted by humans, are often known by what other name in this long-running anime franchise? All right, Mr. Doctor. Does she know that mobile suits are Gundams? We're looking for Gundams here.
What if she says Sendoshi or whatever it is in Japanese? What if she hits us with that?
If she says
What if
that,
she
I will
says
report it.
iron-blooded orphans?
I'm gonna say no.
You're going to say no. And by the way, I don't know what the hell a Sendoshi is. What the hell is that?
I think that's the. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that was the Japanese way of saying like the self-piloted gun.
Oh, maybe you are. I don't know. Anyway, but Raggedy Doctor, you said no. Was that correct?
Lock me in for no.
I'm locking him in. Mobile suits, which are giant robots piloted by humans, are often known by what other name in this long-running anime franchise?
Oh, Gundam.
That's right, Gundam. Uh-oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
Yeah, that one doesn't matter. Throw it out. Throw it out. Are you ready for your second question?
I can taste the cheesy goodness already.
Yeah, if you miss this one, you're in big trouble, though. Are you ready for your second question? Good
Bring it
doctor?
on.
All right, here we go. Speaking of Death Note, in the anime Death Note, people die if you write what piece of information about them in the notebook?
Imagine she's horoscope. Their zodiac sign.
Tough thing is, because I don't think she's seen it or knows it, but can she guess it? Because what else could you possibly write in? I'm gonna say yes, that she's gonna be able to guess it.
So you're saying it's obvious enough that it would be their name.
I'm saying that I don't know what else she could possibly write. She'll probably prove me wrong and write something stupid like their age.
All right. Am I locking you in?
Calling Betsy stupid?
No, just the answer.
Are you-
Lock me in for yes.
All right, we're locking him in. Speaking of Death Note, in the anime Death Note, people die if you write what piece of information about them in the notebook?
Oh, their birthday.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is their name. Uh-oh. Mason.
I even guessed what she was gonna say.
Mason, are you feeling
I
good
was on
right
the
now?
right track with your zodiac sign.
I'm preparing my stirring technique for
I see.
maximum cheesification
I
because I
hope
like
it's-
it thick.
I hope it's not like dinosaur-shaped Kraft mac and cheese. That is the fucking worst.
Dude, what are you talking about? The blue box is the way of life.
The powdered fucking horseshit mac and cheese.
hell yeah,
Oh my
it's
god,
so freaking good.
You should
Oh my
lose this. I'm rooting for Raggedy Doctor hardcore now, just because that is such.
Come
that
on,
is-
Raggedy
oh,
Doctor,
man.
get me those cavities.
All
What
right,
are
you
you
re-
doing, man?
All right, you ready for the next question?
Bring it.
Shenron is the name of the dragon in Dragon Ball Z. On what planet in the series would you find Shenron? We're looking for Earth.
Looking for Earth.
Even though
geez,
none
that's
of the
tough.
cities and places in Dragon Ball seem to resemble the Earth, they do refer to it as the Earth many times. So we're looking for Earth.
I think I'm gonna go for yes. She does seem to know Dragon Ball a bit enough, and Earth's enough of a thing that she could just guess. I'm gonna say yes.
All right. So she knows it's the Earth. Am I locking you in?
Lock it in.
Shenron is the name of the dragon in Dragon Ball Z. On what planet in the series would you find Shenron?
Pluto.
No, the answer is Earth.
What?
Oh.
Oof.
Oh my god.
A sweep. Oh my god.
Devastating.
I did not
That was
foresee this.
Amazing.
I did not foresee this.
Oh.
This is karma. This is karma for what I did to Carol.
To be fair, he said at the beginning he studied the tapes and he found out he was fucked. And that was the only thing he was right about.
Well, Raggedy Doctor, you are being battered around by Kador on the Twitch chat, so you'll have to contend with him afterwards. And
Deservedly
Mason will surely report upon how delicious the mac and cheese is. But today,
Raggedy,
the podcast,
you can rip that A off of your username. Rip it off.
Devastating.
the
was a
podcast
valiant effort.
was more delicious
were
today
tough.
because you were on it, though. So we appreciate you
It
joined
was.
us.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
You mean I don't get cavities? That stinks.
All right.
No, I'll give you some of the mac and cheese. Though I'll say for the record, first of all, the Keto Senshi is referring to the mobile suit part. The Gundam is still Gundam, so you're right there.
Mhm.
And I didn't even ask for mac and cheese. I just put it up on my Amazon wish list as a joke because we were testing out if people could send us random stuff. And people saw that there was mac and cheese on there and ran with it. So I love it. I love it so much.
We have 2 more questions. Would you guys like to do them?
Sure.
Yeah, let's send it.
Oh, I have the volume all the way down on the soundboard. Attack on Titan is the most watched anime of all time. In this anime, humans fight for survival against what?
I
That's
assume
a
you're looking for
trick
Titans
question.
and not the name of the military complex that's overseas.
We're looking for Titans.
We're looking for Titans. I'm going to say she does not know it.
Because it's in the name. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she can figure it out.
Attack
I'll
on
go for
Titan
yes.
is the most watched anime of all time. In this anime, humans fight for survival against what?
Man-eating titans.
That's right.
Hey, hey, hey.
What do you know?
Yay!
What do you know?
How did
All
she
right.
know they were man-eating? I
don't
guess
know.
that's what Titans do.
Did she watch it?
Maybe she does. I don't know. You just never know. She knew Gundam, too. I about fell out of my chair. All right. Are you ready for the last question?
Yes.
Yes.
In the anime Evangelion, what color is Shinji's giant robot?
I'm gonna say once again. I'm gonna say yeah, she knows it because that cost me last time. But really, it's your chance to sweep it, Caroline.
I'll put my faith in her. I'm gonna say she knows it.
In the anime Evangelion, what color is Shinji's giant robot?
Shinji's giant robot. Purple.
That's right.
Whoa.
How did you know that?
I thought it was blue.
I don't know. I just thought of colors and took a guess.
No, don't lie. Don't lie to
Can
them. You
pick up
knew.
truffle
You knew,
once in
Betsy.
a while.
Wow. All right. Well, that was
True Eva fans.
that was a savagely difficult round of this Mitsugi's Mom No.
It was. I feel bad for Raggedy. He does so much for the show. And if you are interested, he hosts a trivia night on the Discord every so often. Next one is October 29th. It'll be a spooky one. They're a ton of fun. If you didn't hear before, he ran our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So it's a really good time. So please check it out, even if he lost today, tragically.
You won't have to be without Raggedy Doctor for long because...
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
And in an unprecedented moment, a little bit of Mit's dancing. It wasn't really dancing. It was a shuffling of his robotic corpse body. But hey, we'll take it. This one comes from, no surprise, I had to put it up there to honor our boy, our fallen hero. Raggedy Doctor writes, "Hey Addicts, I like to find a nugget of gold in a pile of crap. What is one scene, moment, or storyline you can think of in an otherwise abysmal anime that is actually really good? I don't mean something that is so bad it's good, but genuinely good. Mitsugi, what do you have for the good doctor?"
What is one scene, moment, or storyline think of an otherwise abysmal anime? I put Baskwatch because they're really, it's more of a concept that all the giant robots in that wear tennis shoes. It's fucking phenomenal.
Is it just such a weird thing that you're like, wow, that's great?
Baskwatch is like a sports anime, sort of, where giant robots like play basketball, I think, kind of. And they wear giant tennis shoes. They're like size 500. It's fucking hilarious. But otherwise, the anime is terrible. It's really, really bad.
We just received a $20 donation USD to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast to be used for mac and cheese only.
Wow, the Raggedy Doctor is very punctual.
A prompt deliverer of the goods.
Oh, so I have to buy the mac and cheese?
Our pit boss
No, you either send it to me and I'll buy it, or you buy it for me, or you each give us like $7 and we each get mac and cheese and eat it together one day.
I see.
I think our pit boss really made sure is like, Raggedy Doctor, get in my office now and pay up.
Yeah, pay up, sucker.
Okay, back to the question at hand. I thought of a few ideas, although unfortunately not a scene or moment or storyline in the first couple examples. Tokyo Ghoul Route A, terrible adaptation of a decent manga. Great ED. Like, the ED is great. The OP is horrible. The ED is at least very good. The second example I accidentally mistyped it. Joran, that one anime that I kind of took on my back and rode with for a while, even though I knew it wasn't all that good. It has some really great character designs and color usage, and it just looks cool, even though it's crap. And finally, another crap show, Angels of Death. It did have at least one good idea, even one that was not part of the original game it was based on. So you got the two main characters, Rachel and Zach. Zach is like a serial killer, but he has this really horrible backstory. One of the puzzles that they had to complete to get out of their situation was, it just involved a dollhouse, and there were instructions were given to Rachel to tell to Zach to move the dolls inside of the dollhouse. So the thing is that Zach realized that the movements of the dolls reflected his traumatic backstory, so it was told through that. He got really upset because it is a very traumatic story, but it's also very dramatic, really kind of stupid, and the characters are just really over the top and not good. But an interesting setup that they just thought of as a replacement for something else that happened in the game. So overall, I was looking at it, I'm like, wait, this is actually pretty interesting, which was surprising.
Mason?
Yeah, there's very few shows that are just so devoid of anything good. So, in the Land of Leedale, that was a terrible show, but it had that really cool like Godzilla penguin like monster transformation scene. Bofuri, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but it had Syrup, that massive like turtle thing.
Syrup.
I just love big animals. And Listeners, that was a pretty crummy show.
Oh God.
But there were some pretty neat designs, like the Neobatan sisters, like that looked like the Nier Automata people with Okami face masks. They were pretty cool. So, big animals make me big thumbs up. So, thank you for the question. I know there's a bunch of them. And feel free to submit your questions on our website at aaapodcast.com, which is also where you can give us topic ideas, join the Discord, links to Amazon affiliates, just all the things you can do to do everything you need to do. So, with that said, it is time to dive deep into our review. Caroline, would you like to lead it, as this was your pick?
Sure. Yes. So this is Made in Abyss, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun. So season 2 of this show came out over the summer. I passed it in episode 639. And season 1, if you're interested, was reviewed on episode 404. So let's talk about what this show is about. If you have not seen season 1, you're going to be extremely confused. So Riko, our main character, she and Reg, or is it Reg? I don't know how we are supposed to say
I'm going to call it Reg.
Yeah, whatever. So they, along with Nanachi, arrive at the 6th layer of the Abyss. Riko now has a white whistle from, the discovery in the movie. And so now they are getting down to this newest layer of the Abyss with new dangers. It's kind of like, as the title describes, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun. It's gold, has a sun, but then they arrive in this village filled with hollows, kind of like Nanachi. And now they discover how this village came to be, the dangers it poses, along with a new villain / possible future companion that we will talk more about later. So, director Masakiyuki Kojima, the same one from the first season, brought up from the original manga. Mitsugi, what were your expectations?
A fantasy anime. Everyone talks about how messed up Made in Abyss is. It's like, oh, so violent, so terrible. So I expected a lot of bad things to happen. And an overall good anime, since it has a dump truck worth of hype and the acclaim online to back it up.
Mason?
Yeah, I gave extremely positive scores to season 1. I absolutely adored the movie, and I was very excited coming into season 2 on what it would deliver. So high hopes.
So basically what Mason said for me, because I really enjoyed the first season, I actually wasn't huge on the movie. I think it's because I prefer a little bit more length to a show of this kind of show to get a story across. Like for me, I thought the Prushka arc was just very quick. I didn't really have time to connect with her, even though a lot of other people love the movie. I just wasn't really feeling it really. So more of the first season and more gore.
Yay!
But, yay! Mitsugi, what's your spoiler-free recommendation?
I probably wouldn't recommend this anime. It's really pretty, and I sort of feel like, I don't know. I was just bored watching it, honestly. I think it's really hard to recommend anime where fucked up stuff happens to little kids all the time. So unless you're like if you have children, watching children get disemboweled or rip parts of their bodies off for self-sacrificing or some shit, it's just not going to be that appealing to a lot of people. Now, if you don't have any kids and you don't really give a fuck, go for it. I think certain audiences and fans of fantasy are going to like this. I think that in my opinion, if I had without having seen season 1 and the movie. Thank you for gatekeeping your anime sequels. Awesome. It's like Marvel. If you watch this series and these 4 movies, you'll understand what happens in like the Black Widow movie or some crap, which is why I never watch Marvel either. I feel like this anime is carried very heavily by its animation and art, because the art and animation are phenomenal. And I'm just gonna roll it into the Demon Slayer category of like, I don't know what the fuck exactly happened in this season. They walked around a village and a bunch of like Monsters Inc. characters like got fucked up the whole time. I was bored as fuck, honestly. And I kind of was hoping they would actually like move down into the abyss and do more exploring, but they really were like already where they planned to be from the start. And they just kind of mingle around with all these fantasy monsters, which leaves me in a position of, well, I don't really give a fuck what happens to any of them. Half of them look like dicks and penises anyway, and asses. Like literally, the one has like a gray ass, and then his hand looks exactly like a cock. And I'm just like, this is so obvious. And then the other monster looked exactly like a cock. And then I don't know what it is with Faputa, like constantly like trying to grab on Reg's dick, but like she like straight up sticks her head down his pants.
You'll be surprised to know that happens to Reg very often with different characters, not just this one.
Yeah, and they're in the chat. They're like, "Oh, the story's clearly not finished." Well, I get it. Like, that was pretty obvious, but I'm not going to be around for like season 7. Like, like it's just not happening. So, no, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I think this anime gets the acclaim that it gets simply because it looks like the whole thing's animated at about the quality of the average anime film. And if it didn't look that good, I don't think anybody would care as much. So I'm putting it right in there with Demon Slayer. You take away the animation from Demon Slayer, and I think it's amazingly average. So, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Although I think I would recommend season 1 to you more because, as I mentioned, like they spend basically the entire season in one place in this show, but the rest of season 1, it's them steadily going down into the abyss. Like you'll see layers, at least 1 through 4, and I think the 5th layer is the movie.
That's what I expected, That's not what I got.
Yeah. But for me, since I've already started talking, season 1 is superior, as I have mentioned. I think it might be, again, partially due to the fact that the season is just set in one place. And as much as I like the village, it's just comparatively boring to every new lair that they had went to before with the new, like every lair had a different aesthetic. Every lair had different villains and monsters that they had to deal with. And it just kind of felt one note throughout, as much as I still liked it. So I would still recommend it if you enjoyed the first season, but unfortunately it's not going to be much better than the first.
Yeah, with what Caroline said, just from the moment she started talking, I pretty much agree. It is just more of the same, not as strong. It follows the playbook, almost in a weird way to the same degree, but I just didn't find the characters as strong, the setting as compelling, or the weight of what happened emotionally as immense. Like, the show has such a unique atmosphere, which I love, and production, to Mitch's point, is so splendid, and the world building is really what endears me to it. But it is just, I just didn't think it was good. And obviously, if you've never seen it, obvious content warning for some of the most gruesome, uncomfortable, and just challenging scenes in the medium. Like, there's just an ever-present portrayal of children in various states of abuse, fetishizing, and just the expulsion of body fluids coming out of every single orifice, even the ones that aren't created yet. Like, it's just a gross show in a lot of ways. That said, I recommend watching this only if you really like season 1. If you were kind of mixed on season 2 or kind of negative to it, season 2 does not do enough new to be like, oh, but season 2 gets way better. Like, no, I think it's a step down. Besides, like, the little extra shorts that they included with the movies, season 2 is my least favorite in the Made in Abyss universe. And I'm going to still watch it because I don't think it's bad. I just thought this is not the direction that I wanted to go. So, kind of medium, spoiler-free stuff, but I think we dive into it. Ha ha ha, there's so many jokes.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
I want to say this is a terrible anime to binge, which is not what I expected.
I think I told you it's a slow burn,
It's
even if Mason's like, oh, not exactly.
It's terribly
I thought
slow.
this season was a slower burn.
It's terribly slow, and it's just difficult to. Everything in this anime is like trying to strip you down to an emotional level. It's like, this. I don't know their fucking names. They're all like comically dumb-looking monsters. This monster over here is like, its mom is a giant tree thing, and it's gonna like, crawl inside its mom and have a sad day. I don't know what the fuck. But it's like.
What?
All the stuff in this anime is about like how sad and shitty this life is, or this person's life is, or this thing that this person has to do. The problem is that all the characters in this anime, except for Rico, Reg, and the other main characters, are a bunch of like stupid looking like Monsters Inc. / real monsters style like looking motherfuckers. And I just don't really care when one of them gets eaten or squashed or has a sad day or had to watch its mom get killed or whatever, because they all look like fucking dumb monsters. I mean, I just didn't. It's hard to relate to the googly thing that you stick on the top of like on the back of a pencil during Halloween, and then it like has arms that go like side to side when you shake it. That's every character in this anime, and it's like, first of all, it's overwhelming because I mean nothing makes sense, and then maybe that's because I didn't watch the first season. But my understanding is that every layer is different. So when they hit layer 6, which is what this is set in, my understanding is that, I had at least a fighting chance, maybe not, but I don't know. It's hard to have an emotional connection with a monster that looks like, I don't know.
I would say, Mitz,
really
to counteract that, on one hand, pretty much the last couple episodes of season 1 are entirely dedicated to showing you how a human child can turn into one of those creatures. And it's just about saying, look at this person became this horrid, disgusting monster blob of unending pain and sadness. And you're like, no, that hurts. And it's really sad. And it just gets you right in the feels. And you're supposed to carry through that into this season where you're like, well, here's a bunch of people that all went through the same kind of tragic change for different reasons, not as intense, but that's what you're supposed to feel. But at the same time, even if we did get that, I don't think it would matter, because I didn't find myself really caring about most of these critters either. Like, yeah, they're deformed and you're like, ooh, so spooky. But really, I didn't care about most people there. And that, I think, is why a lot of its forced hand to try to make you feel sad about these characters fell flat. So even with season 1, I think your point still stands.
And it's also... nothing makes sense. They don't care, and you're supposed to just deal with it. So, like, I mean, it goes beyond mythology. Like, Odin rips a fucking piece of bark off a tree and turns it into a raven, and it flies away and becomes his mother, or some shit. This is even more than that. It's like we got monsters like completely transforming, like dying and splitting into two and becoming two living things. It's like everything in this is just a spin art of chaos. And it's exhausting to have to watch and try to figure out what the fuck I'm watching, because everything is like, watching colors spin around in a blender. And it's just, to me, it's a little overwhelming. That's not to say the anime doesn't have good things about it, and we'll get to that. But, Made in Abyss is, I don't know, seemingly the worst anime ever to walk into, not having seen the prior season, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about that. I think this was just a bad season.
And also,
I can see it. Like, this was the worst. One of the worst shows you can walk into without seeing season 1. There are just a lot of things you don't understand.
And this anime is like a hurricane that hits landfall, and it's moving about 4 miles an hour. So you're like, the hurricane, you should just pass. This is a great analogy. You should just pass right through Florida.
Don't mind if I pat myself on the back.
I lived in Florida for like 10 years, so I can say this. When a hurricane comes, you'd like it to just pass through really quick. It's going to come through in full chaos, fuck everything up, but then it's gone in a few hours. And that would have been fine in this anime, because I feel like I don't know. Like, they should have come to the village. We spent 4 episodes here, do what we got to do, and then move on. But, no, this anime is like one of those hurricanes that's moving about 2.5 miles an hour, and it sits on top of you forever while it just blends and destroys everything. And the pacing is just too slow. It's like, it is horrible anime to binge, because the same shit is happening seemingly in every episode. And I don't know. It's just like this cacophony of world building that's just too much, to me, and to the point where it's so overwhelming that I just don't give a fuck. Like I don't know. I don't know where they're going. I don't think they know where they're going. And by them, I mean like Rico and the group. But
nobody knows what lies at the bottom of the abyss. That's the whole premise.
Well, and you have to read 160 mangas, I'm sure, to get there. But or I'll have to be 43 watching Made in Abyss season 8. But and why is there
there's
sunlight?
Really only 8 layers, so we're almost there.
Yeah, and why is there sunlight like 300 miles below the Earth's surface?
I could explain it, but it's not worth the time. It makes sense.
Okay, there's a good reason for that. Okay,
there's a whole thing. Go ahead.
All right, Caroline, but you haven't talked much because I'm being a prick, so why don't you go?
Okay. Yes, because you're complaining about things you wouldn't be complaining about if you've seen season 1. So, the Abyss, it's mysterious. It has like a lot of strange things happening inside that a lot of people don't understand because it's mysterious. The relics, they don't understand them. How did they get there? We don't know. The Abyss itself, how did it get there? We don't know. And force fields create, hideous monsters out of what used to be human beings by ascending it. Why does it happen? We don't know. So the fact that there's sunlight in the 6th layer of the Abyss can all just be summarized by the fact that the Abyss is a mysterious place. And because of the force fields that are there on each layer, it transfers light down there for some strange reason that they can't understand because the Abyss is mind-boggling confusing.
So I picture the Abyss like a giant living amoeba. It's translucent and it fills the hole. The Abyss isn't the hole. The Abyss is this entity that lives within it, and it is digesting nutrients and sunlight and pushing that and digesting it down. And that force that exists around them is that force field that prevents them from going up or doing all those mystical changes, which is essentially the easiest way to describe it. But it just works. Like in JoJo is kind of the explanation here. And they do have it in season 1, and I think we can kind of move past it. Because I agree with a lot of Mince's points that it kind of just churns water in a place that we all, I think, found pretty uninteresting. I think we all wanted to see more exploration and new characters and more stories instead of 7 episodes of some character saying, Reg, don't you remember me? And Reg's like, I don't remember you. And she's like, but we made a promise. And he's like, did we? And
what
they kind of just go over that over and over, and maybe they kind of hint at the end, but we still don't know a lot of the questions. Why was he Reg? How did he remember? Like, it just didn't answer enough, and it wasn't interesting enough to learn these new questions.
I feel like the anime missed. They took aim at something great and hit the target, but I just didn't care. Like, I feel like a tremendous amount of time is spent designing every little creature, particularly the walking giraffe guys that look they were lifted straight out of
so cool.
Horizon Zero Dawn, by the way, that is like lifted directly out. Like those guys and the serpenty looking dude with the silver, like these are all cool monsters, but I just don't care. So that's a problem because this anime is like Magus Bride or Somali and the Forest Spirits or one of these fantasy shows where like all these crazy monsters exist and I'm supposed to like see them and be like, oh, I'm at the zoo, although I'm not, and look at all these monsters like doing shit, but I personally don't give a fuck. And actually I was just waiting for everybody in this season to die because I feel like they wanted them all to die anyway. So rather than kick rocks around about how miserable life is, just fucking kill them and move on and let's leave the village. That was my attitude. Like at the end when they came in and we got like a 2-episode money shot of animation, just come in with your giraffe self and just eviscerate everyone. Take everybody, including Rico too. Take them all. Rico did nothing in the season.
Yeah, and Rico doesn't really do much.
She did so much. She tried her best.
So she is good at languages. She knows how to cook things, and she's willing to try things out in the Abyss. And she's the one that's pushing everyone forward. But Nachi is the strategist, and Reg is the brute force. Like she's kind of being like without them, she's completely dead.
Anyway,
it's almost like you need a team of people to succeed.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind our
but
three main
Nachi
characters.
and Reg are able to survive themselves. Rico
Sure.
is not.
Sure, but I like our trio. They don't bother me as characters. I don't dislike any of them. They're all pretty compelling in different ways. I'm interested in all of them succeeding. I want them to all find happiness, which are all in very different ways. But everyone else in this season was pretty lackluster. Belif was probably my favorite. He had a very compelling.
Oh, he was cool.
Like, some of the stages were neat, but like for the most part, things just happened, and I said, "Neat, okay." And then the scene would happen. Like, there was just not that emotional resonance I got. There was no white whistle that I got chiseled out of and then resonated back with the show. It was just, everything was kind of a flat note for me.
Yeah, I mean, there was also, for me, mixed in confusion. I can't remember if the first season was like this, or maybe it was just a little bit easier to understand in the first season. The language they use in the dialogue is very flowery and mixed with like wise words, and it really confuses my idea of people's motivations and what is exactly happening. Because as I said, it's a mysterious place, but when I feel like people are explaining things that I'm just not understanding yet. Even so, that's just how I felt.
I thought the season was worse.
Yeah.
I don't think
especially
it was
I'm like, as much as I liked Wazukyan, is that his name? One of the
sages.
I liked his villain-ish story better than Bondrud's by a long shot. Because I kind of understood where he was coming from with like the gray morality that he's surrounded by. But by the end, like, here's Nanachi giving ideas like what his actual motivations are, and then we completely forget about that motivation idea that she thought of, and it's not that motivation, but what was his motivation? And now it's just confusing, because I feel like they're explaining it, but I'm not getting it.
I like Bondrud, but yeah, I agree. It had the setup, it just didn't hit the nail on the head. And I don't know. What do you think, Mitz? What do you want to talk about? Can we talk about how fucking amazing the music is, though?
I love the music.
Everything artistically about this anime is a 5 out of 5. The art style is a 5 out of 5. The art is pretty much a 5 out of 5. And in that, I'm including the animation because I kept wondering, like, how are they doing this for so long?
Because Cinema Citrus doesn't take on 1,000 shows. They just make Rakamon. They make the Review Starlight series, which has a god tier movie. Scorching Ping Pong Girls, like even their whatever shows just look really good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there for all that. I totally agree. So aesthetically, the anime is like a masterpiece, pretty much. And I assume the first season was about the same.
I mean, as much as I did not like Bapta, I loved her design. She just so cool looking.
The way
her
she
voice
moved through the environment was
yeah.
I like season 1. Sorry, go ahead.
Her voice was just too much for me, though. Like, yeah. I'll give the voice actress credit because I don't know how you can emit those sounds from your mouth, but those are sounds I don't want to be hearing. Just gonna say that.
I like the look of season 1 more just because it wasn't like pasted on this like pink and yellow like swirly like backdrop for a lot of the city, which I thought was pretty atrocious. But besides that, I thought it looked good. Season 1 looked good. The movie was spectacular. I love in the ending the little like watery looking creatures that were like drawn in. They look so fluid. Oh my goodness. I could watch the ending over and over.
How do you guys feel about this anime had a 47-minute final episode.
As did season 1.
So I just feel like it's silly to expect people to go back to something that came out like 6 years ago, watch that, then watch a movie that they may not even be able to access, and then before you watch the second season, how about a 20-minute recap beforehand?
Nobody wants to watch the recaps.
I would have watched the recap.
There are recap films you can watch.
Because I'm not going to go watch Iron Man and Ant-Man and 4 other mans and then see like 2 TV shows on Disney Plus to understand.
Makes no sense.
You know what I mean?
But you're going to watch Dragon Ball Super.
This makes no sense. Like, there are so many shows out there that require you to watch the first season. Like, you don't complain about Game of Thrones. You don't complain about, I don't know, what other... like what other anime do you watch that you can jump into the last series or last season and enjoy it and understand it as much as you would if you started from the
I'm
beginning?
not saying the anime sucks or something because it didn't do that. I'm just saying that would you like there to be a recap? It's been like 6 years.
I mean, they have recap films.
Okay, well, I guess watch the recap film then. But like, and Dragon Ball is a bad example. Nothing ever happens in Dragon Ball. It's mindless.
I know.
There's no plot line really to miss out on. This show is like, if you don't understand these 73 things that happened, oh, by the way, half a decade ago, you're basically fucked. So I don't know. Even for people that had already seen the first season, I could see here's a 10-minute, what you watched 5 minutes ago reminder. I don't know. I guess we don't think that's a good idea, but
I think if it's that dense and important to watch, then it's probably worth watching season 1. I get what you're saying. It's been a while. I didn't have a problem. I guess I thought season 1 was strong enough where a lot of their motivation stuck with me. This wasn't some run-of-the-mill show where I'm like, oh, we got to watch season 2 of Realist Hero. What the fuck was going on? Like, I still remember these characters, what they were doing. Obviously, there's some little things that get lost in the mix over time, but
yeah,
I didn't mind it.
I just want everybody to know that my opinion on this show is a little lopsided because, as I've said, I didn't watch all the backstory. But I do feel like I feel like I got the rug pulled out from me on this one because this anime was not what I was expecting. I was expecting a fast-moving show where I'm exploring the abyss, and that's not what this is. This is more like, oh, we got a flat tire in some village, now we're going to spend the whole 12 episodes here. That's what it was, to me at least. And that's just not what I expected. So to me, I said it wasn't very bingeable because I don't think it is. Like it's, I don't know. It's every episode felt the same. They all felt the same to me. So
I do not disagree, and I don't think that would have changed even if you had watched season 1.
Yeah, I also feel like I'm looking back, like what really happened in these 12 episodes where the last episode was double the length. And of course things happened, but it didn't feel like enough happened to justify technically 13 episodes.
Do you guys know how many more seasons of this there will be?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
They just left the 6th layer. There's only 7 or 8, so I don't know, 1 or 2, maybe a movie. I don't know.
But maybe they find a secret 9th layer.
Oh, my God.
We don't know what's at the bottom of the abyss.
What's in Eren Yeager's dad's basement? Come back in 145 episodes and you'll find out.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know how close the manga is to ending. I know it's still going on, so I would say not a ton. I don't think this is going to be a multiple, like 7-season thing. I don't know. Watching this show feels like what's happening in the show. Like it's full of disturbing horrors, and it's just up to you if you want to keep on venturing deeper. I personally want to, but I don't know.
Well,
there's a lot more I feel like I could get into, but I'm ready to score it. I feel like
I think this anime was a visual feast, in every way. I am 100% sure most of the people that watch season 1 and the movie are loving the fuck out of this, because you loved it the first time, and so I'm sure you love it. I'm sure you're down for this. It's not very recommendable unless you've seen the first season because, as I am expressing, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And so I just couldn't recommend it to somebody. It's actually not recommendable on its face because either they've seen the first season and they've already probably watched the second season before they even saw you walking down the hallway, or they haven't seen the first season and you can't recommend the second season because they're not going to know what's going on. So, but it's visual feast. It was a little slow, I was mostly disinterested. And so I'm going to give it a very crowd booing. You know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give it like, I don't know, 3 of Fapuda's ears. That she ripped her ears off like 19 times in this, I feel like.
Yeah.
So 3 of her ears.
Do that.
3 of the ears that make the squishing noise from Diablo 2 out of 5.
Wow, I'm surprised that you gave it something that high.
Well, because I know it's
Classic Mitsugi.
I just know that it's not as bad as it's not my enjoyment. I give it. It's a 1. I was bored as fuck from episode 3, and it was painful from the start to finish. I didn't give a rat's fuck. But for a normal sane human, which is not who I am, I'm giving it a 3.
Do you think any sane humans listen to this podcast?
I don't know if they do. They're I'm sorry.
So that's not very sane.
I was not interested at all, but I can recognize when a show is good, even though I don't give a shit. It's just like, slice it like everyone thinks Kaguya-sama is the best anime ever, and I am bored to tears by it. So there you go.
Well, I'll go next then. Overall, I did enjoy it, even though we spent quite a while not enjoying it here. But, I mean, that's just because we've already, talked a great deal about season 1. It is still a really good fantasy world. It still has a good mix of just, amazing beauty thanks to the art and the animals that they introduce. But it's also very terrifying and not a place that you would want to be, which is a great combo for a fantasy world. It got really good characters, like I mentioned, Wazukan and Balef. I don't know how you pronounce that, but also Veruko. I love her. She's so nice. So she's there. And also we got a couple, just a little bit of leeway onto some answers to important questions that have been stewing since the first season, but still it still has a lot of why is Reg always getting inappropriately touched all the time? I even said in the Discord, I feel like this is the one anime where a boy character is getting very uncomfortably touched more than a female character, which is I'm still surprised by.
We don't get the balancing, we get the fondling.
Yeah,
they're children.
Yeah, I mean, and there were moments like that in season 1 as well, but you just see more of them, and you kind of get it. You're not entirely certain why they're doing that. It doesn't really add anything. It just feels uncomfortable. And with other similar moments as well. And Fapta is pretty cool if she doesn't get so worked up. But overall, I enjoyed watching the second season. I'm glad it's already out. I'm hoping that we'll get to a new, better story arc with the third season, if that ever comes out, or movie, if that is their decision. And so I will give this anime 3 fur sniffs out of 5.
There you go. Man, Caroline's just spitting facts today. That's just...
Thank you.
That is not the score I was expecting.
Why? What were you expecting?
4.5.
No. I think we're all saying we really like season 1
was 4.5. This is not as good.
Well, this anime's got a higher score online than the first season.
Yeah, well,
that's because all the fans stuck around.
Okay. They didn't stick around for Promised Neverland.
Jeez, I mean, talk about a drop off. No, I mean, Made in Abyss season 2, yes, there's tons of off-kilter, unsavory moments that I would rather go without, but I think that in some sense that adds to the kind of pit in your stomach, just sense of unease that the show has to offer, and it just has an alien vibe that I enjoy. And the strength of the show has always been in this dangerous adventure, dramatic backstories, and just majestic productions and visuals and music. So, did it deliver that? Sort of. Eventually, and it was kind of slow and not as good as season 1, not as good as the movie. And I think at the end of the day, this was a solid show. It was just a weak offering compared to its predecessor. So I'm going to give it 3 Behilets out of 5.
Whoa.
And say that we all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty middle of the road.
Now, my question is this anime going to... Are we going to have successive seasons of this where we get to the punchline in a timetable that fits most people, or are we going to get the My Hero Academia Attack on Titan business where it's another 12 years before we get to the end?
I think this is inherently not designed to be a long running shonen. I think the end is with no with no information backing me up, I think we're a season or two away from the end.
But what you say about Attack on Titan, I don't think Attack on Titan is that specifically, because it has so many mysteries and twists that get discovered pretty, pretty regularly throughout. Like, of course, the whole question about the basement just brought the entire anime community to their knees for several years, but that was kind of like the main milestone people were looking forward to. Like, there was so much in between that too.
I guess more
there has to be something. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I guess more specifically, like, everybody on Earth has seen My Hero Academia Season 1, and everyone thought it was, like, the greatest thing on Earth. But I'm looking at the data online right now, and only 1/3 of the people that watched Season 1 of My Hero Academia were still hanging around for Season 5. You know, and granted that these are, like, many years apart, and people just don't have the attention span to wait around for a decade. This anime is already at 6 years. So, you know, if you got to wait for 2 more seasons at that pace, I'm going to be fucking 50 at that point. So are we going to get it before I'm 50 and care, or is this going to come out, or, you know, am I going to be waiting around till I'm like in a walker, or is this thing going to wrap up?
I have a feeling this one will wrap up before that. This is not like, as Mason put it, long-running shonen type.
Well, it doesn't have to be long-running. I mean, you could, Kinema Citrus could spend 5 more years to do season 3. And then 5 more years for the next season.
We'll see what the manga's at. We'll see what the content's at. I mean, they did do a whole movie in there, and that movie was not a nothing burger. Like, I don't know.
So
I'm fine. I think we're going to get it sooner rather than later.
Attack on Titan was like 4 years between season 1, 2, and then it was every 6 months there's another season for like 5 straight years or whatever, you know. And so now we're 9 years after Attack on Titan started, and we've got like I'm just gonna call it 10 seasons. I'm looking at it here because they break them on half. Let's be honest, they're 2 seasons, but like 8 of those came in the last 2 years or so, or 3 years.
Because that's how Studio Mappa does things.
I'm just saying.
The manga was closer to being done.
I'm just asking a question.
Yes, you're asking the questions, and we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
But what we do know is that this is the end of this episode of the podcast. Thank you for sticking around with us. We love it. We also love when you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, especially Discord, and TikTok, where Caroline still drops absolutely fire ones. Her last one was comedic genius.
Dude.
Dude, follow us at AAApodcast.com. Join for all the bonus content. We do hentai episodes, hobby addicts, after parties, so much more stuff for just a little bit, and you get a cool Discord role, which is what it's all about. Be a betting degenerate if you want. Send me mac and cheese. Reviews on iTunes, we always appreciate them. And next week, we'll have a review of Lycoris Recoil, another hot button one. Mm-hmm. I will not be there, so you don't have to suffer for me once again. Oh, you're so blessed. You're welcome, everybody. But I'll be back the week after for the return of Impressions. So get hyped. We have a ton of good content coming your way, and we hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Cat girls with swords. Cat girls with swords. Cat girls with swords. Okay.
How incredibly out of context.